Hello, good evening, and welcome back. Well, we're all supposed to trust the science. And yes, of course, you can go down the route where science doesn't conform with what the narrative is being pushed, like the peer review of 54 studies shows that asymptomatic transmission of the coof within households is negligible, as in it's statistically the same as zero within households. If you don't show symptoms but you still have the coof, you're not going to spread it to anybody else. There's that science. But, because I think it would be more appealing to the snowflakes, the delicate people who unfortunately live amongst us, the snowflakes, if you will, that this might be more pertinent to themselves, who get triggered at everything. The utopia curse, as Bill Whittle would say. Coronavirus pandemic is the biggest hit to mental health since World War II, and the impact will last for years, top psychiatrist claims. Dr. Adrian James, president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, made the claim. He said even when the virus is under control, there will be profound consequences. And the mental health charity Mind described the worsening situation as an emergency. So, COVID-19 pandemic could be the biggest hit to mental health since the Second World War, a leading psychiatrist has warned, Dr. Adrian James. He has said, even when the virus is under control, there will be profound long-term consequences. He told The Guardian, so that says enough really, it's probably the biggest hit to mental health since World War II. It doesn't stop when the virus is under control and there are few people in hospital. You've got to fund the long-term consequences. So, of course, yes, his angle is give me money, as you would expect. So, take it or leave it as you so wish. However, I do not mean for this to be a primary focus on informing yourselves of things worthwhile, because, I mean, we all knew that, yes, the unforeseen consequences of locking people down, not allowing them to have meaning through work or being able to see their family, is going to have dire consequences. We were all very much aware of that at an earlier stage. However, it comes to using the experts of the left against members of the left. And that is the point, that they believe in the appeal to authority fallacy all the time. That is their primary intention, essentially. That is, oh, well, hey, there's an expert here, so we have to believe everything that they say. And, oh, there's an expert there, so we have to believe everything they say. There's no critical thinking amongst the left whatsoever. So, the way that I've learned, in order to try and figure out how to deal with them myself, is to use their own experts against them, if you will. So, the example here is, of course, if one of their experts, going for the Guardian and wanting more funding, which is to say then a member of the left, because they're asking for taxpayer funding instead of earning it themselves, rightly or wrongly, that's up to you, but nonetheless they're left-leaning, that if they are saying there's another problem from the response to the coof, then they are exactly the kind of people you can use as examples to hold up to people who are thinking, oh, there are no negative consequences of lockdowns whatsoever. So, Dr. Adrian James, the president of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, is somebody worth remembering in order to point to them, especially when you say, oh, well, I found this in The Guardian. So there you go. He says, the deaths of loved ones from coronavirus, along with mass unemployment and the social effects of draconian lockdown, are well documented. Precisely. And, of course, the example of the gentleman trying to comfort his mother at the crematorium for his father is a fine example of that, when then being told, no, you've got to distance again, leave your mother alone to mourn the death of her husband on her own. You have to do that, because it's for the better of all of us. Sure. And then mental health charity Mind described the situation by Christmas as a mental health emergency, adding that 2020 has been a year of anxiety and uncertainty, and more people need us than ever before. They do actually go into some statistics to back that up, saying there was a 15% increase in urgent referrals of people suffering mental health crises from March until July this year, and 2,276 more urgent referrals made in July 2020 than the same month last year, according to Mind. And don't get it twisted, I'm not trying to say that mental health is something that you can ignore. Obviously not. Historically, however, that mental health issues have been much more pragmatic, shall we say. Like, Dr. Johan Hari points out that in Sub-Saharan Africa, for example, an antidepressant would be a cow because then you're giving somebody something to take care of and can provide something beneficial, and it takes their mind off of things while helping them out. So, in their estimation, that is an antidepressant, not a pill. So again, it comes back to Bill Whittle's utopia curse, mentioning Skinner's mouse utopia, and the point when they have everything that they need, they will eventually tear each other apart, and you'll have the beautiful ones who are just narcissistic and just grooming themselves while everything else is turning to shit. And that's essentially the situation that we find ourselves in now. So, things are too easy, they're too straightforward, and therefore people are just finding more and more things to be concerned about. Essentially, it comes down to when you don't need an army, you're then going to attack the army. It's that same kind of thing, and therefore mental health is something that is very important and worthwhile and worth taking into consideration, but at the same time you do have to view it case by case. You really do. And a lot of this just comes down to people not having meaning. And if you don't allow people to work and prove to themselves and others that they have value to provide to the world, then they're not going to feel like they've got meaning. It's a very easy way to fix it. As Dr. John B. Peterson mentions, as one of the core things in order to try and battle depression, having a job is one of them. As well as having a regular sleep and wake schedule. They are vitally important. And then of course there's diet. That is the trifecta. If you hit those three and you still have depressive tendencies, then by all means take it further. But first and foremost, just cycle on those three. And what the government is saying is, of course, well, you can't have your job. You can still have your sleep and wake schedule. That's fine. Your diet, well, of course, they're trying to alter that by making you more vegan than you would be otherwise. So, I hope you're all okay with soy. But, of course, that is going to have a detrimental impact on mental health. And there are so many things when it comes to a mental health side of things, when it comes to behavioural psychology, that tend to be overlooked because people are very intricate beings, and there are so many extraneous variables that affect and input how people feel and how people deal with the world. And by making such a monumental shift like this, it's like a tectonic plate shift insofar as it's going to reverberate into so many other aspects, and it's going to flip other things upside down and take the ground out from beneath you, so you don't really know where you stand and you have to build back up from the beginning. And when this works concurrently in removing traditions, which are just the answers to problems that we've forgotten, then people don't have any standing whatsoever. It's removed what they did as part of a routine and what they were kind of told to do, and then gives them no standing as to how to build back up again. And that's the position that we're in now. So, they say that others, including NHS workers, may develop conditions such as PTSD. That's how bad it's gotten. Really is. From not being able to see family members, from government-mandated orders, that they're inflicting the same level of mental trauma on their own citizens in peacetime as they would when sending them off to foreign countries in wartime. That's how bad it's gotten. But, as always, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think, nah, this is all blown out of proportion? It's not really that bad. We can get by. There's not a problem. Or if you think that, yeah, this is something that should really be looked at more so, as should so many other things. It isn't just the obvious economical impact, but also understanding that we are a country of people. We are a world of people. And therefore, there should be more attention put onto mental well-being. Yes, of course, we don't quite understand it yet, but isn't the goal for everybody to be as happy as they can be in the most sustainable manner? In which case, surely that is something that deserves more attention, because what's the point in having a load of material goods if you don't feel good about it? Either way, let me know down below. Always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, until next time, have a good one.